Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Distance Dilemma podcast. My name is Sean Finn, and I'm in Dublin. This is Imran, and he is in Thun, Switzerland. This is our long distance friendship podcast. Imran, how are you?
I'm good. We had a. It's only been actually a couple of days because of again scheduling this week. I feel like at the moment we're both super busy, like near the later end of the week, so we're having to record earlier in the week.
Yes.
But since we've last spoke, I'm on holidays now for 2 weeks off work, which is nice, and I'm going to Copenhagen on Thursday, and then next week I'm going to Berlin for a couple of days as well. So I'm a fairly busy week. Yeah. Oh yeah. Both places. I mean, I've been to Berlin before, twice. It's really nice. I think you'd really like Berlin. And it's my first time going to Copenhagen, so I'm excited for that as well. Also, because that's where the bear. A lot that episode where
Yeah.
I can't think of the character's name. He's the guy who works in the bakery. Marcus. Yes, Marcus. It's they filmed the scene in season 3 there, so I'm excited to go.
Is that the reason that you're going over, or are you just
No. We just want. It's one of the cities we wanted to see, but I was like to Nicola, we're going to all the spots he ate at.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, this is where Marcus was. This is me.
And then you get to see I forget the character's name, but you've got the whole Will Poulter thing.
Yeah, Will Poulter, where he goes to he's showing him how to make delicacies.
Yeah. Class.
He had a glow up from Toy Story.
Yeah, from Toy Story. Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, Sid, yeah. Yeah. For a second there, you were like, "Wait, is that an animation?"
I was like, that's an animated film. What are you talking about? Like,
yeah. Only years later when I realized that he was actually the voice actor, and they based the character to look like him. I never thought of that.
I didn't actually know he was the voice actor. I just thought it looked a bit like him.
No. That is him. Yeah.
That is crazy. I never knew that. I just
Did you not?
This is the first for me.
There's another clip.
Here we go. Clip that. Sorry for the audio listeners. I just clapped into your ear. Which
how have you been your past 3 or 4 days?
I'm busy bee as always. Just before we start recording this, I had Imran was like, "Oh, can we just hold off a few minutes?" I was like, "Yeah, grand." So I was sitting here ready to go, everything set up. I literally just had to start the Zoom meeting and send him around the link. Grand, no bother. And I'm sitting here, and all of a sudden I hear the sound that every Irish mother dreads on their window. I can hear the rain just start to splash in the window, and I said, "Fuck the washing," because I'd put out a line of washing earlier, so I had to sprint off my desk, go outside, and go out. And we've 2 washing lines up the side. Our washing line is mad. Did I show you that when you were here?
I can't remember. Yeah, I honestly can't remember. Your back garden is bizarre, so
our back it's so funny when you are in our house and then you step into our back garden. It's like 2 different realms.
Yeah,
it's so different. Like, because we've turned our house into a modernish. Sorry, truck just beeped outside. I didn't know what the fuck that was.
I thought a truck was gonna go through your bedroom there for a second. I was like, what the
hell? But so. Sorry, that's really throwing.
That's throwing me off as well. I genuinely thought that was Sean was about to die there. It's like a truck was going to go through his window.
It was like the speaker last week.
Oh, the speaker last week. Yeah.
But yeah, our wash. Simone's dad has it set up that there's as I told you in the podcast 2 weeks ago. It wasn't lying. We do have a pigeon loft up at the top of the back garden, on top of the horses' stables. You know, like most houses. And on top of that, Simone's dad has hooked a bit of rope between the loft and our house, and then basically we can we've basically just made a washing line out of it. So you just lower it down, and the washing literally hangs. It's the height of the house, right? Which might not sound super cool to anybody who doesn't have their own place, but man, your wash and dry is rapid. It's fucking brilliant.
It's directly in the sun, I'd say.
But this is it. It's directly in the sun, and it's getting wind, but it's getting hotter winds than you would. I know it's only a couple of feet up, but it's a little bit warmer than what you'd get on the ground or inside. Obviously, you wouldn't get any wind inside, so the wash and dry is so quick. Even thick jumpers and jackets and all to be rapid dry on a nice day. Now,
is the reason he has it so high so that the horses don't go and try to eat it?
Well,
that's what I was thinking. I don't know.
A little bit, yeah. Because there's a lot of stuff coming and going from the yard. Because he's got the horses out there. There's 2 or 3 horses in around the stables at a time, and at least once a day, 1 or 2 of those horses come out and he'll take them to the field, or he'll wash them, or he'll clean out their bay, or like he might be loading them onto his pickup or something like that. So it was a little bit for that, and then it also just adds like a benefit that like the clothes dry rapid. I feel like such an adult saying shit like this.
But I was gonna say, because most people have like, I feel like they've gone away from using clotheslines at their back. It's a lot like the indoor ones now. We started using that when I was living in Derry's. We used a lot of the indoor ones. I mean, during summer, of course, like you'd have it outside, but this time of year it's balls, in Ireland, leaving it dry.
We didn't bother doing it over the winter. Like when we first moved in, and it was like scorching hot last summer. I say scorching hot, 20 degrees in Ireland. That's like as hot as it's getting, like, that's
peak summer right there.
Peak summer season, like mid-July, start of August, like your peak temperature is 22 degrees on a good day, like. So we were doing it non-stop until like the end of September, start of October, and then once the weather turned, you couldn't really do it, because like you'd be doing what I just did there every 10 minutes, like, because the rain would just keep going and get really heavy. And yeah, I was snapping. I was having a good hair day and all. I was like, oh, grand, this is going to look great in the clips next week. Fuck now. It looks like I normally do, because I usually, when we record on Saturdays, I'm just out of the shower and I've got...
Yeah, I genuinely just thought you had a shower like before we started.
No. No.
I've been trying to get my hair cut like this whole week, and every time I keep going to the barbers, they keep like writing on the front of the barbers, oh, we're closed for the day, but we'll be back open tomorrow. But then they keep changing it. So it was like, that was on Tuesday. Or sorry, that was on Saturday they had it. And then I was like, right, I'll go on Sunday. And then I had it on, we'll be open on Monday. And then on Monday it was like, oh, we'll be open tomorrow. And I'm going to Copenhagen tomorrow, because now I'm debating whether like to go to a different barbers, but that's also really ballsy when you move to a foreign country, because you find a half-what decent barber who, you don't speak the best of German, they don't speak the best of English, you just show the photo and he goes like that, gives you the trim, and you're good to go. But now I'm like debating tomorrow, if I go tomorrow, I'm like, maybe I might have to go to a different barbers, and I'm afraid of getting a butchering.
Yeah, and you have terrible luck with haircuts.
Yeah, we've talked about this like on the start of the podcast. Like, I'm the king of having terrible haircuts. We should make a montage video of my bad haircuts.
Just like a clip every week of like the hair in different states, like,
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah, I've been going to, like, I feel bad, like I've been cheating on my barber. We won't talk about this too long, because show I haven't gone.
Poor Adam.
Yeah. But like when I can drive, I'm like going straight back over the bench, because it'll be an excuse to go and see family and stuff as well. But like I genuinely like miss having my haircut by Adam.
How are you finding getting a haircut in a barber? Because I know we talked about it previously in the other podcast, but how are you getting used to that experience of going into the barbershop again?
It's still a little unsettling for me. For anybody who doesn't know what I'm talking about, I have psoriasis, and it's predominantly like in my hair. It used to be on my face and stuff. It's a little bit on my arms, but predominantly around like the back of my scalp. And I've just had a lot of really bad experiences with barbers. Nothing too bad, but like, I do notice them being a bit standoffish, and I do notice them, like, you see it in their face, and you can also tell by like their body language and like how they're touching your hair before. So like I always find, yourself, like they're quite it's obviously a very hands-on job. But I find, like, it goes noticeably from, like, quite regular to the second they, like, kind of put the razor into my head and they can see a bit of my scalp. I notice it, and I don't know, like, I'm probably overreading into it based on the experiences that I've had. And, like, come here, I get it, especially if it's a young barber. Like, I had a young guy cut my hair about 2 or 3 months ago, and I could tell he probably just hadn't come across it before. So, like, it's more like when it's like barbers that are like, you can tell they're over the age of 30. I'm like, you've come across this before, like,
Yeah.
But I definitely would, like, it's been okay. It's not been a terrible experience, but I would definitely like to go back to Adam when I can drive over to him, like,
I'd love to have...
like, he's a mate as well, like, so he wants to support mates.
Only like kind of when I was I only started to get a barber just before I went to Ireland, and like I was consistently going to him for about 4 or 5 weeks, because he's like, it's not even just like having the chats with him, they just know how to cut your hair. Like, they know what way you like it, the length, because my biggest fear now is like, when you tell a barber to cut like the tiniest bit off your fringe, in their mind they must get like 4 or 5 extra inches in their peripheral.
I always undersay how much I want it off.
So do I.
Always overcut it.
Yeah, even when they pull out the ends and they're like this, and even now it's coming out the summer, and obviously my hair is quite shaggy at the moment, like I'll want to say to them, "Oh, take a good bit of the lump out of the back, but keep the fringe long." But I know now that I just can't do that. I just have to let it be long and just like let them cut the top, because I know here if I try to explain to them to just take the tiniest bit, they're going to like, take like that much out of it.
Would you ever consider growing your hair out?
I have thought of it many times, but also I think Nicola just doesn't like my hair long, so it's kind of like a thing as
The
well.
boss says no.
The boss says no, like, and also you go through that really weird stage when you're growing your hair out. You know you experienced it as well. Like Sean had long hair and it just didn't suit him. Like everyone said it to him. No, it didn't.
It didn't.
You can ask Simone. You can ask Simone. Like,
Well, no, Simone never. It was before. It was before COVID. And I was fuming that I cut my hair when I did, because I cut my hair in February 2020, and then it went because like all the barbers were closed again. I didn't get a haircut then until like the September or October or something like that. I think that was when Adam started taking back people again, and so it grew. It didn't get as long. Like it was like, it wasn't like at my shoulders, but it was like dipping like onto my neck, and like I could put it back in the like I could pretty much get it into a ponytail and stuff. And like it didn't get that long again, obviously, but it was definitely like well over my ears, and it was definitely like kind of like a shaggy cut by then as well, like, you know, because I didn't have an awful lot taken off the top when I did get a cut after. I think I grew it out for 2 years, or a year and a half or something like that. It was quite a long time, and yeah, there is definitely that like awkward mid phase, you know, for sure.
oh yeah, it's so awkward, and it's even like you kind of have to like get maintenance cuts when you're having long hair,
Yeah.
because to like make it not look shit. And as well, you've got to wash your hair a lot more
This is
because
what
it gets
made
greasy and no.
This is what made me cut it when I did, because like it was getting to the stage where like I had to spend like 10 minutes in the shower just doing my hair.
Yeah.
Whereas like I want to be in and out of the shower in 10-15 minutes, like, you know.
Yeah.
So it was just laziness, really, like, you know. But as well, because like I said before, like I can't not get up and have a shower, like, you know. So I was just getting up and I was doing that, and I was like really conscious of having good and bad hair days, like, there, because I think when I was having a good hair day, it looked great. The problem was that was only once every 2 or 3 weeks. It didn't look good on a day to day.
It's got that like lads are aware of like having good hair days. Like I feel like that sometimes. Well, do you know, like when you're especially when you have a fringe, because like when I get out of the shower, I just do that with the towel, like brush it really quickly for all the listeners, and let's let it loose then, and then it does its own thing. But then some days it looks class, and then other days you're like, mate, that just looks like a little plop on your head, like.
Yeah, sure.
Just noodle head, like.
Like I literally just shake it with a towel and then off I go. I'm considering at some point, just for like trying something different and like a bit of cleanliness, is not cleanliness, but like just for like tidiness, doing like not shaving my head. What's that haircut where like you've like got like it's like a skin fade and then like really really tight on top?
Oh, it's like a one on top, and then you get a tree on top, and then a skin fade, pretty much.
Yeah, there's a particular name for a taper. No, it's not. Sorry, not a taper fade. There's a very, I don't know what it is, but it's basically like really,
on it.
yeah. It's really tight on top, and like it's just because I've had my hair as like a long messy fringe with a taper / skin fade for the last 5 years. I suppose 4. Since COVID reopened, I pretty much had the same haircut, and like the only thing that's really changed about me is my beard has gone through different lengths. Like sometimes I've had it really long, sometimes I've had it really short. It's on the longer end now, and I'm thinking of shaving it just for not like wet shave, like, but just trimming it down just because it's summer and it's starting to get really fucking annoying.
Yeah.
I remember last time you had like a proper beard was like we crossed over. Like I decided to start growing my beard, and then you had like just gotten your thick beard out then, like, you know.
Yeah, I kind of just keep like a dry shave / stubble, because I had it super long and everyone used to give me like the terrorism talk. Everyone
we should have called the podcast that.
But it did. Like, it would look shit. I can't even lie. It was just super. It got super long, and mine doesn't grow like the way Sean's grows down. Mine just wouldn't grow that way. It kept growing out on my sides. So I just thought it looked shit. And I was like, nah. So now I just dry shave every like 3 or 4 days. Then people that wet shave every single day, fair play. Because I think it's such an effort. Like, it takes so... I know, like you can do it fairly quick, but I just couldn't be arsed. Like,
Yeah,
I
I think it's
honestly
more
want to
about
be in the
getting in
shower
the
for like
habit of
5
it and
minutes.
like getting like that routine like nailed down really tightly to like a 5-10 minute process. To be fair,
Yeah,
some people need it. Like our mate Jack needs it if he wants to do a clean shave
yeah.
every day. Like some people do grow hair that quickly, like you know. But I see people on TikTok as well who like like have a proper wet shave with a fresh blade, like the whole like shebang every like second day, and I'm like, right, fair play, that's mad. But I also find as well, do you ever get like when you go to a barber's and like you get them to like line up like
Oh,
the
so
thing and they use
nice.
one of those blades and it feels brilliant, but then like
Oh, it's so nice.
it just be like a day later and like you'll feel up the top of your chin and go, fuck's sake, you feel the stubble already back, and you're like, I just want it's gas because when you're a teenager, all you want is to grow your hair out and like have your facial hair and all these things, and then like when you become an adult, you're just like, oh my god, fuck off.
That's why
Please.
I understand why people have beards because they just aren't shaving it. So
Yeah,
they just go to the barber, and when they go to the barber sharpens it up, and then they could just be crazy then for the next 2.5 weeks. You know?
yeah, pretty much. Like I do trim my beard, but like it's more like someone I'm not eating my mustache, and like I'll
Yeah,
like line up the top here because like I don't know, I'll end up getting
mustache.
like handlebars at the top.
Yeah, I know. You get that like weird curvature. You should for the crack like just shave your whole beard and keep the stash.
Oh no, no, wouldn't do that.
Like a little twirl at the end.
Yeah, no, no, I do want. I've thought about like just thinking up my mustache before, but I don't know. I'm very happy with like my facial hair. Like I'm cool with it, like the way it is. Like you know, I'm
Got a
grateful.
hard level beard game.
Yeah, and I just think it's like I kind of was like, all right, I'm gonna grow. Like I started growing my beard in 29. I think it was the start of 2019. I started growing it, and I was just like, right, okay, I'm just doing it. I haven't had a wet shave since because it just worked out, thankfully. You know.
Do you know about derma rollers?
Sure. Oh, are they
You've
those
heard
things
about
that help?
this?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. And I thought this was like a gimmicky thing, but you know Nathan. He
yeah.
won't mind me saying this, like, but he wanted to grow out his beard for a long time, and it was just bum fluff, and he bought from this company called Copenhagen something like Copenhagen beard grooming thing, and they give you like a pack. They give you like a pack and everything, like with oils, the derma roller, but you've got to do this like 3 times a day, and basically what it does, it like takes the ingrown hairs on your hair that don't come out, and they just pull them the opposite direction so that you actually have that full effect of a beard. And like he did this for like 3 months, and like not even lying, the difference it made in his face was like mad. Like obviously
Yeah.
me and you do not have that problem. Like we can grow a beard easily. Like if I just don't shave for like 2 weeks of a beard, like. But it's mad that like that there's actually science behind it that you can actually grow yourself like a fulfilling beard. Like
Yeah, do you know what's weird about me though? Like, I have like quite a bit of facial hair, obviously chest hair, and like an average amount of leg hair, but my arm hair just never grows, or like it's blonde, like you know, like it just like it doesn't look like I have hair on my arms, like you know, it's like it's just I just find it weird. Like it's mad how like everyone's a bit different. We're really isolating the ladies as well listening to the podcast, by
yeah.
the way. So shout
They
out to
get
the
their own
ladies.
mustaches. It's okay.
No comments on my end. Um, well, yeah. Do you want to move into our topic for the week? Because I have a feeling if it ends up like last week, we're gonna end up spewing on for absolutely
Yeah.
ages.
I actually, this week I was actually struggling to find a topic, and then me and Sean have like a previous list when we first decided to start the podcast that like we'd go through every week, and then we just keep skipping over it each week and just finding a new
We
topic
keep talking shit.
because we keep talking shit. Um, so this week I wanted to focus on the topic of things only Irish people would understand, and I texted Sean. I gave him about probably like an hour and a half to come up with stuff. And then also when we finish this episode, I'd like to hear from the public what people would like, if they agree with us or if they have their own views as well. Sure, I'll kick it off. The first one was, and I only experienced this yesterday with Dari on the phone. For anyone that doesn't know, Dari's like a family friend, and basically it's like the small talk about the weather. Like
Yeah.
we are known for that so bad. Like I genuinely thought it was a thing that like happened everywhere, but like I've been here a year now, coming to the end of this month, and not one person has said anything about the weather to me here. You know, like a daily occurrence, like sure, yeah, the weather is great, yeah. Ah yes, we're 25 degrees, and oh yeah, the sun's looking lovely. I think I get that on a daily basis when I used to work back at home.
Me and Imran once spent a full hour on the phone talking about the weather.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. Like,
Do you remember it was the day I surprised you with the Arctic Monkeys tickets?
yeah, because that was at work. Uh,
Were you in work or were you heading to work?
no, I was in work, and you
Oh,
were
right,
ringing me,
okay.
and I had to keep going to the bathroom because Nicola was texting me as well, being like, "Sean's trying to ring you," and I was like, "Oh, okay," because like the Arctic Monkeys was I think it was like fairly
Yeah, it was
soon
like
after.
three or 4 weeks after because it was like
Yeah,
it was to make up for their show that they cancelled in Marley Park. So I just got I surprised him around with the tickets, but like it was for his birthday, and I wasn't gonna. I think it was the week of, and like I just wanted to ring you. I don't know, maybe it was like a pre-sale situation, but anyway, I was calling him around to say I got him the tickets, and I was also going to Belfast on the same day. Uh, so I was like boarding a train to Belfast, trying to get a hold of Imran. Finally get through to him as I'm getting on the train, and told him the tickets, blah blah. So that was done in like 5-10 minutes, and we ended up talking about the weather. And like literally, Simone was standing beside me as well. We stood on the phone for about an hour just talking about the weather.
that doesn't surprise me though. Like we just get some tantrums sometimes with about topics, and it could be the wildest things as well. Like
It's why we set this whole thing up, Imran.
yeah, it's so other people can listen to us talk shit as well. But do you
Yeah.
experience that much? Like when you're in work, like people talking about the weather? I feel like that's just like a
Oh, it's
huge.
the first thing we talk about in the office. Like we're in the office
Yeah.
tomorrow. First thing that's going to be brought up is, geez, it's either lovely or it's a bit meh or it's a bit shy or geez,
Or
it's
like,
wet out there. It's
yeah.
the first thing that comes up every day in the office.
And it's always talking about like what's coming ahead. Like me and Sean were on the phone last week, and I was saying to him about he was telling me that the weather's been great, and I was like to him, "Oh, you're going to pay for it the next 2 weeks because that's like a thing in Ireland. Once you have 2 weeks of good weather, the next 2 weeks after are dreadful, and it just rains every day and it's cold."
Yeah, and that's the difference right now. It's fucking shite out now. It's like I said, I
There
have to
you
run out
go,
and get
like.
the washing there as well.
Yeah, so you give me one as well if you have one
Okay.
on your list.
So my top one is coddle.
Coddle.
Oh,
Yes.
coddle. And honestly, right, anybody out there is gonna hate on coddle. You need to shut the fuck up, right? Coddle is fucking class, right? I will
Alright,
not have any coddle slander on this podcast.
I will say one thing. It doesn't look great.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't look great.
It looks like a bunch of boiled penises. I'll give you that, right? It doesn't present very well, right? Now I'll give you points on that, but once you taste it, it's top 10 dinners for sure. And
Nicola
so-
was like having a rant with me last week about how much like she's never tasted coddle, but she was like, when I think of Irish meals and I see coddle, I feel sick. And I was like, and I was like, well, have you tried it? And she's like, no. It's like,
I was going to ask you this because I was
Yeah.
like, I wasn't sure if Nicola would have had that because obviously Nicola is like born and bred Irish,
Romanian.
but because
Yeah.
her parents are Romanian, that probably wouldn't have been a dish that was in the
No.
house. You know?
But like I said before, like she's Irish born, Irish raised, but she is prominently a Romanian household, so her whole life is Romania. Where it's the opposite case for me. You know, I'm born in Ireland, family are all Irish, raised in an Irish household, but I don't know that side of my Pakistani lifestyle. So it's you know it's the same kind of concept. But I was saying that we must take something go back to Ireland. We should maybe you should make us cuddle.
I'm
Maybe
making
you should make
fun.
us, maybe.
The thing is, we have this thing in this house, right? Have you ever heard of red coddle?
No.
Right.
No
This
idea
is
what red coddle
this is a problem me and Simone have with this, right? So Simone won't have cuddle the way we're talking about. Her family did this thing called red cuddle, and this has nothing to do with Monum, her Tunisian stepdad. This is like a thing where her ma and her like her family and stuff, right? They make cuddle with oxtail soup instead of potato and leek soup, and I'm just like, that's stew.
That is true.
That's stew.
That's stew.
Right?
Yeah.
That's what stew is. I mean, Simone get into fucking fights over this probably 2 or 3 times a year because I will not call that coddle. Like it's literally
That's
like
stew.
it's the same. It's the same thing, but it's just with oxtail soup. But once you've added oxtail soup, that's beef, which makes it a stew. So
But I gotta agree. That is a stew. Once you add oxtail to majority of dishes, it tends to become a stew because it's beef.
Yeah. The only way you can make coddle look nice just on the presentation thing is you have to fuck parsley on it and just like probably put less soup in it and more like boiled spuds because that way you'll kind of get the yellowness of the spuds and like 'cause
Yeah, yeah.
the soup can look a bit grey. It can look like shit porridge if you don't do the soup right, like, which the thing is, it usually, honestly, the worse the cod looks, the better it's going to taste. I'm not going to lie to you.
I can't wait for you to like explain this to Nicola. She's not going to be having any of it.
It's deadly, man. Like, I love cod. Makes me think of when I was a kid playing football and I used to come into my nana's after training.
Yeah,
and like she like on a winter's day, like, oh man, like I said, man, I will not have any coddle slander. It's fucking deadly.
Yeah. It's like having a roast off your nanny or your auntie on like a Sunday after playing football all day and you come inside. Yeah, stuff like that you miss, don't you?
Well, I don't. I still have it. You don't.
Yeah, I don't. Another one I have here is I just said the deli because there is no such thing as a deli abroad besides.
That's heartbreaking. The fact
that
I get a chicken roll every Saturday. That's so heartbreaking that you can't do that.
Like there's no, you can't even get chicken rolls in the UK. Like chicken rolls only an Irish thing.
It's a very Irish thing.
Yeah, like I can't imagine my life without a chicken roll. Like now I haven't had a chicken. Every time I come home now, like I have to go Krusty Corner. You know, I have to. And then even if not that, like the fact even that breakfast rolls aren't a thing abroad, like, is just crazy. I know you're talking about before, like, we find them greasy, but like the fact that like that's not a thing abroad. Like, who created that here?
It is a little bit in the UK. I think it's more breakfast sandwiches though. Like
sandwiches,
yeah. It's not, but it's not got the same like historic background to it as like the Irish deli does. I think it's gas as well. Like when you see videos of like Americans coming over and they're like, "Oh, we were told to go to this garage in the back arse of nowhere because apparently these places have the best deli food." But like, genuinely, facts, they do. Like,
yeah, literally. There's a place on Mulhutter Road. There's a place on Mulhutter Road that Darry used to go to, and like the two ladies in there, they've worked there for like 13 years. Like they know. You talking
about the Hungry Monkey?
No, the Hungry Monkey. This is actually on the sorry, not the Mulhutter Road. The road on the way up to the halfway house. I can't think of the name, but that's at the
Navan Road.
Navan Road, sorry. What was I saying? Mulhutter Road. Navan Road. Yeah. And there's an apple green there on the left hand side, but there's two girls there. They've worked there for 13 years, but they know Darry's order when he goes in. Like that's the kind of level I want to get to one day.
Commitment.
You know, that. You know, like that's like a well known thing. Like that's like you know, you're doing well in your job.
That's the thing. Like, I think as well, the Irish delis are so great as well because like you don't even have to stick. I don't personally stick to the same order every time. Like, I get something different every time. Like usually when we record the podcast on Saturday after, I'll go. I mean, it's like basically on Saturdays I don't home cook at all because we'll end up getting the chicken roll after we record the podcast because I'll usually be hungry after doing this, and then we'll also get a takeaway on a Saturday. And like genuinely, like I could go there. I love like you can get a jambon, you can get chicken balls, you can get sausage rolls. My deli down the road does a full carvery dinner on a Sunday.
From the deli?
Yeah, from the deli.
That's mad.
It's deadly. The only thing is they close super early though. It's like it's done at like 2:00, so I'm like,
oh, right, so it's an early roast.
Yeah, it's an early roast. So I'm like, right, okay, but like if I'm having a roast on a Sunday, I want to have it at about 6, which is granted, you can buy it and just reheat it. Like, no, but it'd be deadly to get it a bit fresher. That's at like 6:00 or something. Like, but man, halfway house carvery as well. By the way,
slaps.
Oh man,
slaps.
I said to Simone the day I passed my driving test, we're going to Krusty Corner for brekkie, and we're going to the halfway house for dinner. And we're just staying out in the car all day, and we're just going around. But like that's our breakfast and our dinner on those 2 days. And
that's
like,
the best thing about getting a car though, that you can just drive and get food.
Just go do what I want.
Just do what I want.
I can't wait to go to the Burger King drive-thru in Liffey Valley legally. I have done it. I have done it.
Feds are watching now.
Feds are watching. Yup. You don't have any proof. I could be spoofing. You don't know.
You don't know. Do you have anything else on your list?
Yes. The next thing I have is Alive O.
Alive O.
Alive O.
Are you talking about the kids book, or are you talking about the song? Both.
There's something about Alive O that's like ingrained in like everybody who went to school in the early 2000s and the 90s. Like head. Like I don't even remember much about it. I know it's just like a significant part. It's like a rite of passage having to go through it. You know,
just remember like the animation on the front of the book was like, it was just like really badly drawn.
Yeah.
Like of like the three disciples and Jesus. It was
It was definitely some like whoever owned the book company. It was definitely his like niece or something like that.
yeah.
It was like, oh look, I can look, Declan, I can draw. Yeah, grand, you go off and do that there. Grand, we'll put that on the cover. Oh shit, that's what she done. All right, grand. Anyway, send off and that, good to go. And there we go. Got loads of pictures of Jesus and the boys.
I wonder if that's still in. I wonder if that's still in primary schools. Surely not.
I have not got a clue.
Honestly, I would actually love to know if that's still in the educational program.
Hold on, mate. You stall there for a second, and
Yeah, right.
I'll do a bit of googling.
Or he's getting into the nostalgic of it now.
Hold on, is this a ChatGPT job? Sure,
It
let's
could
go
be
with
a
ChatGPT.
ChatGPT. Let's find out.
Shout out to ChatGPT.
Saving stupid people's lives every day.
Yes, sir. Is alive. Oh, still used.
In Irish primary schools.
Sorry if you can all hear my typing in the background. All right. Oh, yeah, still used in some Irish primary schools, but has become less widespread in the recent years.
Oh, rest in peace, alive. Oh,
Fucking killing off the greats.
that's that's shocking. Like that's top three. That's the top three books of all time. There.
Yeah, it's up there with like The Great Gatsby and To Kill a Mockingbird. I love
Yeah. On to my next point I have is the saying "after look," and when I think of it this way, right, it means everything and nothing at the exact same time.
That's a whole conversation and a conversation ender.
It's a beginner, it's an ending, and it's a middle set. It's a middle phrase. Like it's like your dog just got hit by a car. After look, yeah, you know, yeah, you
Sure, look for the dog getting hit by the car.
yeah. You left the immersion on. After look. You know what I mean? Your team loses 6-0. Asher look.
Yeah, I had a lot of that last year. You lost your job, Asher look.
Yeah.
You crashed the car, Asher look.
It is what it is. That's another one. It is what it is.
Yeah, no, it's facts. There's lots of phrases like that. That like are like depending on the context or depending on how the person says it, it's either going to be the whole conversation, or it's going to be the catalyst for like a much longer conversation. It really just depends on context of like how it's voiced, really, I suppose.
Another one be like, Ash, you know yourself. Like that's a real cult. That's more of a culture saying, but like, you know, you like you understand. It basically means like you understand what I'm saying, kind of thing, or you understand how I'm feeling. Or
there's lots of like corporate office equivalents to that as well. Like I've found that, especially like getting into the corporate world, there's like so many like of those like shit little. It's like the equivalent of like anime filler in the corporate world.
Yeah.
Where you say these type of things like, oh, we'll circle back in, or like you're asking like such basic vanilla questions, like, you know.
Have you got any more?
Yeah, I've got 3 more, 4. I've got more. The next one I have, and I love explaining this to people who aren't from Ireland, the Late Late Toy Show.
The Late Late Toy Show.
Yeah. Now,
okay, so explain the Late Late Toy Show to the folks here now.
I just want to put this out there. So I have not watched the toy show since I was 10, but I do think the concept of explaining it to people is so funny. Like face to face, like whenever I go to the UK and I meet friends of friends, or whenever you're abroad and you explain this to people just go, "What?" And this fella isn't getting locked up. so
what way are you explaining this?
Okay, for anybody that doesn't know what the Late Late Toy Show is, right? The Late Late Show is the longest running talk show currently still going in the world, and it's Irish. It's on every Friday night in the autumn winter time in Ireland. So you've got the host, but for one day a year, it's usually the first Friday of December or the last Friday of November, depending on how the days fall. They do the toy show, which basically they get a bunch of random ass kids to come on and play with toys on this talk show, which is usually like a pretty serious talk show. Like it's used to talk about like pretty serious current affairs. Like if there's been some heavy topics in the news, usually stuff comes up on about there, or you've got, you know, like huge artists or, you know, politicians or whatever, like, you know, like the president would be on it, and huge musicians have been on it. Like it's a really like formal show, and they just come on once a year, just like turn it into the biggest piss take ever. And it's
Yeah.
literally kids coming on playing with toys, and usually it's like the new toys
It's
that were out that year. Like
yeah.
I'm sure this year the Switch 2 was going to be on there, and
Yeah.
whatever Fortnite or whatever skins are on Fortnite.
Yeah. It's always like celebrities like Dustin the Turkey, like Michael D. Higgins. Like I think one year they actually had like Little Mix or like the Pussycat Dolls or something on
I
it.
think it was the Sugar Babes who some little kid was like obsessed. It was some little young fella, and you like had a karaoke machine. He's like, "Oh, I love the Sugar Babes," and like the Sugar Babes just like walked in like and the back of them, and the young fella's there. What the fuck? Oh my god!
There's always so many memes from it.
Oh,
There's-
the Irish Twitter goes so hard the day of the toy show. I've not, like I said, I've not watched the toy show live in years, but I
Yeah.
always catch the best bits from Irish Twitter.
it's
These
just iconic though, isn't it?
These kids get rinsed on Twitter as well,
Yeah,
by the
yeah,
way.
yeah.
Like, some of the jokes are foul, but they're brilliant.
It's just iconic though to like Ireland.
Yeah.
It's like everyone that's Irish knows what the Late Late Toy Show is.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
If you're living under a rock.
Yeah. Well, it's only in Ireland, though, like, because it's not a thing abroad at all. Like I said, anytime I've explained this to people who aren't from Ireland, it looks at you like you've 10 heads. And usually
I
they'll
don't-
also like do some like charity donations as well. Like they usually set an
Yeah.
appeal for like a children's charity or like a homeless charity or something like that to help people out around Christmas time. You
Which is
know,
good.
I know you're due to go next, but on that I'm just gonna do another segue because we're so good at segues nowadays
Off you go.
into my next point, because it's the same time of year. But the Guinness ad coming on at Christmas
Yes.
is like,
and
sorry, go on.
no. I said there's that ad, and then there's the Lions or the Barry's tea one, and it's like someone that's like living abroad and like their family packed this like Irish tea in their suitcase, and it's like they open and they're in like Australia or Singapore, and then they open it up and it's like a reminder to say, oh, you're not that far away from home. But the Guinness ad, I'll let you talk about that.
Yeah, it's just it's like, even like as somebody who, like, hates Christmas and doesn't celebrate, well, like as somebody who doesn't really celebrate it, like even when it comes on, it's like okay, right, like it's a nice ad, like, if you haven't seen it, look it up. There's not really much to tell. It's just a pretty simple ad of like Dublin being closed and Guinness being like, oh, happy Christmas, like, So yeah, it's synonymous with like it's one of those things where the Christmas period is like start. It's like that and the Coke ad, but the Coke ad would be a bit more worldwide.
Bit
Like,
more
the Guinness ad is
worldwide,
very,
yeah.
because they've been running the same ad as well. They don't make new ads every year. Like they've been running the same ad since the 80s, I think.
Yeah,
And
I think so.
it's just iconic, like, but like it's such an Irish core thing, like,
Another one I had on my list was crisp sambos.
Oh yes.
And like dominantly it has to be white bread, a shit ton of butter. And it often, I know I give out about it, it often is potato crisps. And then you have like your nanny will like pull up like a full jug of tea, a whole pot of tea on the table, and you've got your whispit, you've got your crisp sambo. It's not a crisp sandwich, by the way, it's a sambo. Just stating that for facts there, like.
Okay, fair
Yeah, and it does like a whisper or a dairy milk on the table or whatever your
Have
nanny
you ever
has. in the
had?
back.
I don't know if this is me just being a fat bastard, but have you ever had a crisp sandwich accompanied by a bag of crisps?
Yes. You're making your own little combination now.
Yeah. But then like
Combination.
a dairy milk and a cup of tea after a cheese and onion crisp sandwich is like peak.
Yeah. I agree with you. I even know even I can withstand that.
Yeah, fucking class. Do you want to go? I've done two in a row there, so do you want to do two in a row?
Okay, yeah. So another one, I think it's my last one that I have is, I think I just have Irish people finding it hard to take a compliment. Like it's always like, so let's just say it was like two young ones, and she'd be like, "I love your jacket," and then she'll go, "Sure, I only got it out of pennies. It was only a fiver." It's never like, "Thanks very much. My jacket's nice." Even me and Finn probably both the same thing. We both find it hard to take a compliment.
Yeah,
I know for a fact it's an Irish thing. Like we just really struggle as a country, like taking a compliment. It's always like,
It's 'cause
yeah,
we're
or
so used to the suppression from the English.
yes, political.
Yo.
Also the hatred for the Queen as well. So that's another thing.
Well, to be fair, I don't think I know it is a big Irish thing, but I think other countries are
No.
in on that a little bit as well.
They're backing with us.
Honestly, one of the best days of my life was Irish Twitter the day the Queen died. It was one of the funniest things ever.
Oh man,
I know it's terrible to say,
crazy.
but it was so funny. It was such
the WhatsApps were going crazy.
Wonderful time to be alive. Not for Lizzie.
L's in the shop. L's in the shop.
I love how there's times where like Imran's like, oh my god, this might be a bit racy, and he's trying to put out fires, and I'm just doubling down on it because I can see the panic in his face, being like,
I'm like just holding the water, just putting the fire out.
The next one I have two more. You say you're out, are you?
I'm done. It's good. That's all I can think of today.
You've shot all your loads. So awesome. I have Super Quinn sausages.
Super Quinn sausages, yes.
Super Quinn sausages.
Super Quinn sausages. Not really much to say there. Just spot on.
Yeah, like for anybody that Super Quinn went bankrupt a couple of years ago, but they had like their own brand sausages, which were like the best sausages in the country. Like it was the gold standard. Like you would go out of your way if there wasn't like Super Quinn wasn't like super local as well. It's not like Spar where you've got one like on every corner. Like there's a Spar 2 seconds from my house and there's another one less than 5-minute walk away, right? But Super Quinns wouldn't be that local. Like there would probably be one per town or one per village or something like that. Like you would go out your way to go up and just get the sausages. You'd queue up just for those sausages. The sausage
it's like Kerrygold. You know, it's that's this top standard butter that you're getting there.
Yeah, everything about Super Quinn sausages were just like peak. I don't think it's something that anybody outside of Ireland could ever really understand. Like how great they are.
They were beautiful.
Yeah. Long may they be missed. And like I wouldn't mind, like I think Super Value bought them out or something like that. And like every supermarket chain has tried to do, like this is how good they were, that every other supermarket chain has tried to do a version of Super Quinn sausages, but they've never hit it. It's never hit like it did back in the day.
It don't hit the same no more.
It's like when they changed the recipe in Lucozade when the sugar tax came in.
Heartbreaking day. Even when they did the Fanta Exotic as well. Don't even get me started. Anyway, what's your last one?
My last one is so you know when Irish people like get onto a big like US or UK talk show, or like they get like the Irish people just go mad for it. Like you could like be like, let's say it's like a musician that like nobody like a good example of this right now is Kneecap, right? Everybody's obsessing over Kneecap because they're playing Coachella and they're on the Late Late Show over in the US, and they're like getting all these mad headlines worldwide, and everyone's obsessing over them just because they're Irish.
Yeah.
I don't feel like any other country like jumps on like their own people's clout like Irish people do. It was the same last year with like Cillian Murphy when he won his Oscar for Oppenheimer. Well deserved, of course.
Well deserved.
But like Cillian Murphy was all anybody was talking about in the country for like a good 2 or 3 months.
We're very much a country that backs our own, though. I will say that.
Yeah, for sure. And like I'm seeing it. Sorry, you go on.
We love seeing people do great in the public eye. Either that's like on a political term, or it's movies or music. We've always backed our own, which is great. I like as a country anyway.
Yeah, I'm seeing it a lot. Like right now with Rory McIlroy. Like, I know people who I'm like, I know for a fact you don't give a fuck about golf. You know, and they're like going mad over McIlroy, which is like fair enough.
It's great. You know, I thought it was great. I've watched the Masters for a couple of years, and I watched the other night. I stayed up to watch it, and it was great. I know, because I know how long it took him to win that. It was one of the majors that he hadn't won, and like even if you don't have an interest in golf, you can just see like how much it meant to him when he was talking to his daughter and everything. So
yeah. No, I went through a bit of a golf phase when I was like 16.
Yeah. Everyone does in their life. You get to like a certain age and you start looking at balls differently. Pause.
Fuck's sake.
I cheer him off with that one, lads.
We're adults. Like we're. I had this thing the other day where I was like thinking about life, and I was like, oh my god, I'm 25, and I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna be 26 this year. So. And like I was just thinking of like when I was like working in jobs when I was 18, 19, I used to look at like the guys who were 25, 26 and be like, oh my god, like you're not that you're old, but like you have so much experience on top of me, and I'm looking at that now. I'm like, I honestly don't even think I'm any better off than I was, like in terms of like wisdom.
Maturity is at an all-time low.
Yeah, pretty much.
You've heard a big time rush.
Big time.
Big time low. Big time low.
Yeah, but I've just I just put together a few examples. Like I'd Rory McIlroy, Cillian Murphy kneecap. Fontaines is another one where everyone is obsessed with Fontaines all of a sudden.
Yeah.
I don't get it myself. I think I'm like one of the like 20 people in the country that I'm just like, yeah, they're all right. Like I'm not obsessed with them. Like everyone I know, especially in the music scene, is just like obsessed with them. And I'm like,
it's because they're bringing punk music back to Ireland, which has been gone for so long. But I understand why people can think they're pretentious, because they do come across like that very much. Especially their new album, it's like very much like you either get it or you don't kind of thing.
Yeah, I
feel like that's why a lot of music really.
Yeah, I feel like I don't get it, but John kind of wrecks me. It's like the amount of like, and I don't know if it's just me because I'm seeing, I'm obviously playing quite a lot of gigs and stuff, but the amount of like Fontaines wannabes that are around are just mad. Like, it's even like the haircuts and the dress sense and stuff. It's like, all right, it's cool, but I just don't get it. It's just not clicking for me. Like,
Yeah, it's always a copy and paste though with like that kind of band industry. It's always a copy and paste of like, you've got U2 and
Oasis had that thing as well, where like
Oasis as well, like
the haircut and the fucking bucket hats and the walking around like look, there's only one man who can pull that off, right? And men in their 40s need to accept that Liam's the only one that can pull that off, right? Because it's getting embarrassing, lads.
And me and you have been to way too many gigs to understand that, so
yeah. And,
I think that's a good cue to end our episode.
Yeah, because if we cannot be getting into this lore, because honestly,
on next week's podcast, we discuss.
On next week's podcast, my cringiest era. Honestly, I would say my Oasis era was way cringier than my Jedward era.
Definitely,
100%. But yeah, like I said, we'll wrap it up here. So yeah, thank you so much, guys, for listening to the Distance Dilemma once again, and we will chat to you again next week. I'll hand you over to Imran.
Thanks, folks, for the support. Like I say at the end of every episode, but I do appreciate it. And yeah, looking forward to next week's episode, and we'll see you all next week.
Okay, cool. Thanks very much, guys. Goodbye. Bye.